Hello citizens, in my previous tutorial I showed you how to get a size 5 attrition and Galderine laser repeater completely for free. I will also compare looted components and stock components in most popular ships so that you can actually see what you get with these free upgrades. Today I am going to show you how to farm rare military and stealth ship components that are no longer available in shops. And yes, it's completely free. If you're like me and you want your Constellation Taurus, Andromeda, StarLancer Max or Corsair equipped with top tier components, especially for PvE combat missions, then this is the video for you. I personally go for components with high HP and performance, and the ones I'll show you today are some of the best you can loot as a solo player in StarCitizen. Plus, I'll include a bonus tip on how running specific missions can earn you a massive amount of aUEC while farming these components at the same time. I'll leave a link to my previous video down in the description, so feel free to check it out after this one. And if you are new here, I've also included a link to my StarCitizen tutorial playlist filled with guides, tips, tricks and everything you need to enjoy StarCitizen as much as possible. Now let's jump into the video. I'm currently in the Stanton system, operating out of the Grimhex asteroid base, which of course means that this video is about farming components only in Stanton system. As you may know, CIG decided to remove some of the best ship components from all shops in the game. However, many of those rare components still spawn inside NPC ships. In today's video, I'll show you exactly which missions you need to run to find those NPC ships carrying rare military and stealth components that we want to farm. Most players, myself included, use ships like Constellation Taurus, StarLancer Max, Andromeda or Drake Corsair as daily drivers, and all of them run on size 2 power plants, coolers and quantum drive components. Only size 3 component on all these ships are shields. If you're also interested in size 1 rare components, let me know in the comments and I'll make a separate guide for those as well. As you may have noticed, I just destroyed a Freelancer miss, and that's the one of the ships you'll definitely want to hunt for. The easiest way to find it is by accepting the ambush OP mission offered by the Headhunters faction under illegal mercenary contracts. Don't worry, these missions won't give you a crime stat. Just pay attention to the mission description and look for the one that specifically mentions the Freelancer miss. Another method is to run legal mercenary missions offered by Gillis Flight School. You'll want to choose mission number 5 because the first wave of enemies will always include a Freelancer miss. Let's now take a look at which components you can find inside the Freelancer miss. And I'll tell you right away which ones you should definitely loot and take with you. First, let's open all the panels to access the ship components. So right here we have the Maelstrom power plant, which is an excellent military grade C component. You'll definitely want this one for any of your PvE combat ships. It provides 20 power generation units and 1100 hit points. As you can see, there are 2 of these installed. The full stop shields are also military grade C. You can take them if you want, but they're optional. Next we got Arctic coolers, also military grade C component. I highly recommend using these as an upgrade in your ships. While coolers don't currently play a major role in StarCitizen, I'll show you why these are still worth picking up and how they outperform most stock coolers. There are 2 of them in this ship. Lastly, the Crossfield Quantum Drive is a solid military component that I always make sure to loot since it has a decent quantum speed and 1000 hit points. All these components that you saw in Freelancer Miss are not available in shops. Now let me quickly explain why I recommend looting the Maelstrom power plant and Arctic coolers that we just farmed. I'll be using the well-known DPS Calculator to compare them with the stock components that come with your ship, so you can clearly see the difference and understand why upgrading with these free components is worth it. For this example, I'll use the Constellation Taurus, a ship many of you are familiar with. It recently got a nerf to its maneuverability in the latest patch, but I still believe it's an excellent daily driver. As we can see, this ship comes with industrial grade C components by default. So let's start the comparison by swapping in the military components we just looted. First, we are adding the Maelstrom power plant, and right away we notice the full 20 power generation units, which is super important since we can later distribute this power to systems like weapons weapons, shields and engines. Another important thing to notice is 1100 hit points on the Maelstrom compared to just 980 on the stock Vigilance power plant. That's a significant difference if you're planning to use your ship for combat. Now let's look at the coolers. Pay attention to the current stock coolers and how the power distribution bar works. Each cooler shows a large bar labeled number 3. If we turn one cooler off, we instantly gain 3 extra power bars that we can reallocate to, let's say, engines or shields. However, you also notice that in the second cooler there are still 3 units of power sitting unused. That's a potential power reserve. I personally never turn off both coolers at the same time because doing that can sometimes cause all ship systems to shut down. Now let's take a look at the difference once we replace those stock coolers with the Arctic coolers we farmed earlier. First, notice how much more cooling capacity the Arctic cooler has compared to the stock cool core, and check out what just happened on the right side. We now have 4 power units that we can freely allocate however we want. Once I install the second Arctic cooler, I'll have a total of 6 available power units compared to just 3 with the standard coolers, and both coolers will still be running at minimum power levels. That's the key. They'll both be active but drawing very little power. Take a look at this. This is how it looks by default now. I've got a total of 6 power units I can redistribute to other systems. I'll leave the coolers running at minimum and allocate those power units to weapons, shields and engines. Look at that. Everything is maxed out. Weapons, shields and engines. And both coolers are still operating. That means you are not risking full system shutdown, which can happen if you disable both coolers completely. Let's not forget the difference in health points between them. Cool core have 640 hit points, while Arctic have 750 hit points. So, the next ship you want to target is the Vanguard Harbinger, and you can find it through the Gillis Flight School number 5 contract. If that mission isn't active, you can also find it through legal salvage missions, although you'll need to pay 50,000 aUEC. Trust me, it is totally worth it. These components would cost you 4 times more if you could buy them. So investing 50,000 for military components, even if they are not top tier class A, is a smart move. Now let's see what you can loot from this ship, and I will point out which components are must have. First, head all the way to the cockpit area where you will find all components except one, the quantum drive, which is located in the rear section near the main entrance. I'll first open all the access panels, then go to the back and start by looting the quantum drive. As you can see, it is Jaeger Military Grade B Quantum Drive, which is a very solid and fast drive with 1100 HP or health points. Definitely something you want to take with you. Next, we have the secure shield components. These are nothing special, so you can skip them if you want, but personally I loot everything anyway. Now let's talk about the fantastic permafrost military grade B coolers, which I highly recommend farming. Later in the video I'll show you a performance comparison just like I did with the previous components. These coolers offer excellent thermal performance and come with 860 health points. They are a bit tricky to remove from the housing, but with a little patience you can pull them out. Lastly, we have the turbodrive power plant, a military grade C component that's on par with Maelstrom. It has the same stats, including 1100 health points, making it another excellent choice to take with you. Alright, now let's hop into the DPS Calculator, and this time I'll use the Drake Corsair as our example ship, one we are going to fully upgrade with farmed components. The only thing I've already changed are the weapons, because personally I really like flying the Corsair with Galderines or attrition repeater mounted. So let's start by looking at the default loadout of the Corsair. As we can see, it comes equipped with civilian grade C components. We have total of 22 power bars, which we can distribute across weapons, engines and shields. Now let's check the stock coolers. We can see that each cooler gives us just 2 power bars stacked together. So if I turn both off, I gain a total of 4 power bars. Not ideal. What I want is more control over my cooling power distribution, so let's upgrade them with the permafrost coolers and see what changes. Immediately we can see that power control is much better now. With both coolers off, I get 5 power bars to play with. Nice. Let's turn them back on for now. Before we move on, I want to show the difference in health between the stock and upgraded coolers. The Permafrost has 860 HP, while the stock coolers only has 540 HP. So we're getting a serious boost in durability too. Now let's move on to upgrading the power plant. I'll start by changing just one and comparing them side by side. The turbo drive gives us up to 20 power bar units and has 1100 HP. The stock power plant, on the other hand, only provides 18 power units and just 710 HP. Let's swap out the second one too. Now instead of the original 22 power bars, we've upgraded to 24 generation units, which is a solid improvement. Next, I'll turn the coolers to minimum power. Just like I explained earlier, I prefer having both coolers running, but on minimum settings. And now we have 5 extra power bars that we can allocate elsewhere, like to shields, while our weapons are still running at full capacity. The last looted component we are going to upgrade is the Jaeger quantum drive. Let's first take a look at the default speed of the stock quantum drive. As you can see, it is fairly slow and it only has 630 health points. Now let's install our looted Jaeger drive. Immediately you can see a dramatic speed improvement, and on top of that the Jaeger has 1100 health points, almost double the durability compared to the stock version. Let's go ahead and upgrade the shields as well. I'm picking parapet size 3 shields, and with that upgrade we still have one extra power bar available. Now here's a neat trick I personally use. Since I usually fly solo, I don't need turret weapons, so I simply remove all turret weapons to gain 2 more power bars. I can then assign those extra bars to shields, and I even have enough power left to boost the coolers a little more. If you're flying with a friend though, instead of removing the turret weapons, you can just swap them for ballistic weapons and you'll get the same power saving effect. I hope you now understood the core message of this video. I could show you even more ships that have excellent components which are no longer available for purchase, but honestly that would turn this video into an hour-long guide. Instead, let me just quickly mention a few ships you should definitely keep an eye out for because they contain top-tier components. Vanguard Sentinel comes with stealth components. Isperia Prowler has a top-tier stealth power plant grade A, often found during medium risk target bounty missions. Mining areas, these are new points of interest locations full of derelict ships like the Aegis Saber, Retaliator Bomber and Vanguard Warden, which comes with fully military grade components. StarLancer Max, another great ship to loot for high performance parts. And now, as promised, here's an extra tip before we wrap up. Keep an eye out of illegal headhunters ambush missions. While testing these missions to see what ship appear and whether they are worth looting, I noticed something very interesting. When ships like Freelancer Miss, Drake Cutlass or Argo Raft spawn during these missions, they almost always carry some kind of cargo. So make sure to scan those ships, you'll often find gold on board. For example, I once looted an Argo Raft that had 88 SU of gold. I made nearly $500,000 USC just from the cargo on top of farming valuable components. And now I want to hear from you. What's the best ship you've looted components from so far in Star Citizen? Or do you have a favorite farming spot I should check out? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video interesting and helpful, make sure to check out my previous guide where I showed you how to farm size 5 laser repeaters. With these 2 videos combined, you'll have everything you need to fully upgrade your ship with top tier weapons and components almost for free. That's all for today. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below, and until the next video, may the force be with you in the verse.